Hello, Stacey Hendry here, health coach. Today's episode is about spaghetti squash. This is a great low carb option, and you can use spaghetti squash where you would normally use spaghetti. It has more nutrients, less carbs, less calories. So cooking it is the key. So today I'm going to show you how to do that. So it is a little bit of a hard vegetable, but if you take your knife and put it kind of right in the middle, get it started. You might have to wiggle it a little bit to get the knife in there. But then you could use your leverage, once you get it in there, to go around, and you just keep turning it. Might have to work at the end of the counter is great for that. And you just go around. And now I'm getting to the little nub, so I'm taking my knife out, go back in, and wiggle my knife out, go back the other way. Sometimes you can't get it through the nub, but oh, I did. Voila. So now it looks like a pumpkin, like a Halloween pumpkin. And I'm just gonna do the same thing you would if you were carving a pumpkin, is to scrape out the seeds. So scrape, get all the seeds and pulp strands out. And you want it to look pretty clean. These darker colors here, just scrape a little more of that out, get all the seeds off, and that's it. So I'll do the same thing for the other side. I put it into a baking pan just like this with nothing. You don't need to put any water in. You don't need to put anything on the squash. You could just bake it like this. So I have my oven set to 400 and I do it for about 30 minutes on this size squash. If it's bigger, you might need a little more time. If it's littler, less, of course, but you don't want to overcook it because it turns to mush. If you want spaghetti, you got to get it right when it's done. So I'm going to put this in the oven and then we'll come back. Now, if you're just going to be eating spaghetti squash, you can put a little coconut oil. You can put a lot of seasonings on it, and that's great, but I like to use it. I like to put a lot of different things on top of the spaghetti squash, so I cook it plain. So we're going to stick it in the 400 oven in 30 minutes, and we'll be back. Okay, so 30 minutes went by. I always check it around 30 minutes, and this is a hot plate, but just take your fork and dig it into the side of the squash, and if it comes out like spaghetti, then you know it's done. A lot of times it's very hard, so nothing happens, but just pulling towards the inside. If you get spaghetti, it's all set. So then you would just go around the squash, kind of digging on both sides. I'm gonna take this one out, make it easier. And you don't want to leave it in here too long because you don't want it to overcook. Then it gets really mushy and it tastes squashy. But this way, when it's just like this, it's perfect. And you can just scrape all the squash. You could probably give it a few minutes to cool, but scrape all the squash out and then save it. It lasts in the refrigerator for several days. You can put chili on top of it, throw it in soups, stir fries. It's great. One of my favorite things to do is to take it out when it's hot like this and toss in some arugula, and the arugula will wilt, and then I top it with a pistachio topping. So if you'd like that recipe, certainly reach out to me with your email address, staceyhendry@gmail.com. So I hope this was helpful. If it was, please share it with your friends and follow me on social media. Have a great, healthy day.